if you're over 30 years old or you're around 30 years old, maybe around like mid 20s to like maybe mid or later 30s, you've been waiting for Street Rage for almost 25, 26 years. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about if this game was really worth that wait. So, Street Rage 4 was released really recent. It's not a Sega developed game. It's like third party developed, and it's a very very beautiful game. Like, you look at the graphics, the backgrounds, incredibly detailed, incredible lighting everywhere, especially on the sprites themselves. No matter if they are the Street Rage 1 character sprites or the new sprites that they have or new models. I think the new models are probably cell shaded, but overall the game is beautiful. The game also plays really nice. It's nice and smooth and fluid. I also like how they added a lot of somewhat like new takes on old material that they had. Like, for example, there's like a couple new weapons and even like some new like interactables that you can kind of beat up and smash. I think that's very nice. And even the story is okay, even though I think like it belongs on like you know a new Jet Set radio game. But I think it's pretty cool. It's not as like dark as like the Street Rage 3 storyline. I think one of the biggest issues I feel with this game is that I feel like the game right now in its current state, they didn't want to take too many risks, I feel, with content and the modes. Like, for example, there's 2-player online mode but 4-player offline, and I kind of feel that maybe they didn't want to take the risk, or they had a lot of trouble with 4-player online, so they decided not to put it in right now. We don't know if in the future they might patch it in. I think that'll be really really cool to have 4-player online, especially right now, because as I am as I'm speaking, we're going through a pandemic, and it's kind of hard to kind of get people all together unless your family and stuff like that. So I hope they can kind of fix that. Also, I don't think there's 4-player in battle mode. That's another mode I kind of wish they would have took a little bit of risk on. Maybe have the ability for you to pick all the enemies in the game, and maybe even have it where you can also play against the enemies in the game and just like limit how many times they respawn or something like that, or make it endless respawning or something. That way it's just like a big battle royale, you versus everyone. I think that would have been pretty cool, just a Royal Rumble. And you can also choose which weapons and stuff that you want, if you want interactables. I think that would have been very cool, almost kind of like how Guardian Heroes is. I think that would have been a very very good addition, but it seems that the battle mode is a little lacking. I think a lot of the disappointed players in this game, because this game has gotten a lot of mixed results. A lot of the like negative results are just coming from people that don't understand beat 'em ups and stuff like that, but that doesn't matter. But this is coming from a lot of people that have played the past 3 games in the 90s, and they feel that this one is just coming up short in some areas. Some people feel that the music is kind of lacking. Some people feel, like myself, like there's a lack of content. I think with the lack of content, people were expecting it to be like Street Rage Remake, that had a lot of different modes and a lot of options, while this game has probably like 1/3 of that, I feel. So hopefully, with some more feedback from players, they can start incorporating that a little bit more into the game. Because I mean, I would love that. I would love to even, like I said earlier, you could play with the enemies in battle mode. I wouldn't even mind seeing like the old sprites from Street Rage 1 and 2 and 3. Those old enemies back again. Um, I wouldn't even like mind like some more stages, because like the game has 12 levels, and the levels are well designed. I kind of wish there was like a bit more levels, man. I mean, even maybe it might be hard to like incorporate that in, but I wouldn't even mind just like even playing on some of the old stages. Like honestly, there is a little bit of a kind of a Easter egg in the game, where if you use the taser on the arcade machine, you can go back and fight like an old boss from one of the older games. I wish they would kind of expand on that a little bit, and maybe you can play some of the older like stages in some way. But I kind of feel like maybe they don't want to probably like put too much old stuff in this game, because this is Street Rage 4. This isn't like you know a trilogy, not a trilogy, but this isn't like the Street Rage collection game of all the old stuff. But I still kind of wish maybe they could have like tried and put a little bit more of like the older stuff in it, you know. But I feel like yeah, I definitely feel that they're kind of they're playing it kind of safe with this version of the game right now. Who knows where they're gonna put in the next versions? I do believe for example, the Street Rage 4 characters, they're well designed, but they just, hmm, I don't like how like only one of the characters or two of them can dash and run, like Cherry and Adam can like run, and Adam can kind of dash. Understand that they might wanted to just bring it back to like the Street Rage 2 kind of feel, where they can't run at all. But I did kind of wish they had a bit more movement options. I was also kind of hoping maybe you can like level up your characters, or strengthen them up some way somehow. I thought that would be cool, and then the more you play, the more you can like unlock, I would say, more attributes or something like that. I think that would have been pretty cool to see, for replayability's sake. The net play mode, I think it's pretty good so far. I have ran into some pretty bad connections. It is a little bit too easy to just rage quit. Like there's been so many times where I would like play with someone and they die before me. The game will pause and then they will just end the game, and that's it. Like it's too easy, way too easy. And it's funny because like I was thinking about the 4-player online mode. If they would have had it, and that probably would have been worse. So one person died out of the 3, they just leave it in the game. Like that's crazy. So I do think in online mode they need to kind of put some sort of like restrictions on like quitting the game or pausing the game. I don't even think you should pause the game period while you're playing online, you know. But I think that's about it. I'm trying to think what else can I talk about with this game. Again, I'm glad to play it after 26 years. I think it's a beautiful game. It's well designed. It plays well. I would just wish for a little bit more tweaks in the difficulty department, a couple more tweaks in expanding the modes, a little bit more content, I will say. I think the amount of characters they have in it that you can unlock is pretty okay. But I wouldn't even mind even more, like I said, for, battle mode. Um, it looks like arcade mode is kind of like a survival mode in a sense. I would actually wish that arcade mode was just like how it is in the past games, where you just have continues instead of you just die and you gotta start all the way from the beginning. I don't really like that. Even in story mode, I don't like when you die, you know, you can start all the way back in the beginning. I would kind of wish there was a mode that enabled continues, you know, have first player, second player have their own amount of independent continues. And if they die, they can just choose a character right there, wherever they just died at, and continue the game instead of bringing it all the way back, you know, to the beginning. I don't know if they did that to set up the online play, but I don't know. Maybe they can incorporate that in some way, somehow. I'm not entirely sure. Let's see. I do want to talk about the characters real quick. The new characters, I love Cherry's design. She looks great. Floyd, I'm not too keen on Floyd. He just looks like a mixed of Mortal Kombat 3's Jax with an Incredible Hulk. I don't really care too much for his design. I do like his super though. His like big beam is crazy looking. I really like that. I'm glad Adam's back in the game. He looks absolutely great. And his super is pretty great too. And his charge move is, you know, it's a little thrust kick, but I think it's pretty okay. I think having Adam in this game is really, really good. The sound, I think the music is pretty good in some areas. It's just not as memorable as like 2 or even 3. I thought 3 was memorable as well, even though it was on a different direction and vibe than 2. There's just some songs in the new game, like the first level, the streets level. I think that music is absolutely phenomenal, and that's the only thing that I kind of remember. All the other stages are just kind of forgettable sound wise. Replayability, I think until I unlock everything, I'm not sure if I'll kind of revisit this game again unless I want to just have a good challenge and play a friend online. Honestly, I would feel that replayability will increase if there is even more things to unlock, if they enable them to unlock, or maybe if they have like a DLC or something of just some more content that can be unlocked or that is already given if you pay for it. If maybe they have a 4-player online mode, either in battle mode or any of the story and arcade modes, I think that'll be cool. Or if they add like an endless mode or something, or a proper survival mode, I think that'll be really, really cool. I was gonna say maybe add like a shop like the remake, but that might be too much. Like maybe too much. I just want to give my hats off to the developers. It's a great game. I do believe they should try to add a little bit more content, maybe add a little bit more things that people are kind of like hoping and wishing for, just to increase the replay value of the game. And I think that's about it. I think I'm kind of done ranting about this game. I don't want to go too in about it. I think it's a good game, but I think it's a little too safe of a kind of initial release as far as the modes and the features go. So I'm gonna give this game Street Rage 4 a good 7.5 out of 10, I would say. Yeah, I think that's appropriate for right now. And if the game gets an update of more content, I'm gonna talk about it again, and maybe my score will increase. But that's about it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this game? Do you think it was worth the wait? Are you disappointed by this game? Are you impressed by this game? What would you like more in Street Rage 4? Post in the comments, and I might reply back. You might have other people replying back. You might get into an argument. I hope not. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch and follow me on Twitter. And I'll see and talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Peace.